Hey guys, welcome to another day with ZIMALETA. A lot of you guys have basically asked me, to make a vlog that's related to expediting, like what kind of fuel economy I'm getting. So basically, I fueled up in Pensacola, Florida. It is Chattanooga, Tennessee. I have driven exactly 381 miles, and I fueled up 14.217 gallons. And here's how you got to do it. Each time you actually get a full tank of fuel. For diesel, you got to make sure you knock the tachometer off, which is this area right here. I knock it completely to zero, and when this 381 appeared, I was already like a half tank of fuel, or somewhere near it. Okay, so then you have to actually pump some fuel. Yep, see, 14 gallons, 0.217. I wasn't planning to really fuel up. In conclusion, this particular fuel up here, once I actually did the calculation, it's actually 27.22 miles per gallon. So this is really good. I'm doing like 27. I know I've been letting you guys know that it's like 25.5 to like 26.5 miles per gallon. That's an average. Yeah, another thing I do want to mention is I changed my oil every 10,000 miles. I only use Shell Rotella T6 oil. It's not because they pay me, they sponsor me. It's because I don't switch up my oils. What I start using is what I continue on using. So anyways guys, I'm continuing this video in the morning. I was also basically asked what kind of tires do I use on my Sprinter, whether I drive with cruise control, what kind of air filter do I use, things of that nature. So as for the tires goes, I basically use tires like from Walmart. I'm gonna show you which ones. The tires I use, Xtero. There's the it's 225 by 75 R16s. They're LT rated. Guys, the reason I use that tire, I found out that from actually buying a tire, just like a regular person would go to Walmart and just buy like some tires. I wanted a good cheap set. That's what it was. When I bought this tire, I really didn't think much of it because it was pretty cheap. I think it was just a little bit over $100 a tire, and I put them on and they lasted me quite a while. I think that they lasted me like between 80 and 100,000 miles. And why I say that, because I don't do tire rotation, so like the front lasted longer than the rear, basically. But I kind of like those tires. I use my tires up pretty quick. Usually like 1 year is how long they last me, because I do driving between 10 and 15,000 miles a month. And as far as cruise control goes, that's another one of the questions. Yes, I do use cruise control. You kind of have to use cruise control when driving, because I mean, if you don't, you have to hold your pedal down, and that's a lot of holding your pedal down. The only time I don't use cruise control if it's like in the mountains and it's like really steep hills and stuff like that. I don't use cruise control there. I don't use it in the rain. I don't use it in like any kind of like bad weather, whether it's like windy conditions. I want to have full control on my vehicle at that point, so I don't use it. But other than that, I use cruise control, and it always works fine. So basically, moving on, what kind of air filter do I use? I basically use a K&N air filter, because you could just use that thing for as long as possible. Basically, I'll open up the box, and if I see any kind of like dust or anything, I'll or like any kind of like debris, I'll just go ahead and take it out of there. But they do sell K&N cleaning type of kits. You could just get that, clean it, and keep it in good shape. But that's what I use. I use a K&N filter. So far it works for me. I never idle my vehicle. I don't recommend you idling your vehicle, because it's just gonna get your EGR dirty. And if you got a newer Sprinter with particulate filter like 2007 through 2009, it's gonna really clog that system up. Yeah, what I was saying, guys, is as far as the DEF goes, the government basically did some kind of study or like a research, and they have figured out that the DEF system really makes no difference, and it really is not helping the emissions and stuff, and I guess the climate change or whatever. It's really not doing anything except it's causing problems, like in vehicles. So good news, what I've been hearing is the 2018 models from Mercedes Sprinter, it is actually going to be a 5-cylinder model, or at least they're going to offer that option. So it's going to be 5-cylinder. I guess maybe the same engine that what I have here, maybe one with some improvements. But guys, it's not going to have DEF type of system. So hooray for that. You know, they finally got rid of it, because man, that system they really, I think, should have done more studies on before they install it in people's vehicles, because if it breaks, it costs $7,000 to basically replace. And in the winter time it freezes. I mean, they should have at least insulated if they're gonna install it. I mean, after all, we have places that are really cold in the United States, like Michigan, Wisconsin, and you name it, guys. Especially like Canada and stuff. So why did they even use the EF system? I don't know, because in the wintertime when it freezes, you got that little countdown, and that's it. You have like so many starts, maybe like 5 starts. I've heard as much as 50 starts sometimes. But so another question is, how fast do I actually drive? Guys, I don't drive that fast. I follow the speed limit. Basically, if it's 70 miles an hour, I'm doing 65. If it's like 60, well, there's no speed limit 60, but anyways, I do between 63 and 65 miles an hour, because I set cruise control and it fluctuates between that number. So this is why my fuel economy is so good. Like yesterday's fuel economy, and I actually did it in this video, was actually 27.22 miles per gallon. So that's actually pretty good. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. If you drive these little speeds here, and if you fuel up at cheaper type of gas stations, did you know, you guys, you could save between $200 and $400 a month just by fueling up at different gas stations? And if your Sprinter is economical, let's say even like 25 miles per gallon versus like 18 miles per gallon of vans out there, you know, you're saving like another 400, 500 bucks. Guys, when I was actually buying a brand new engine, before I actually bought it, my fuel economy was between 20 and 22 miles per gallon. So this is when one of the persons here that actually asked me like a lot of these questions here that I'm answering to you, and he's not the only one that's been asking. He says that his Sprinter is like a 2003 version, and he's getting like 22 miles per gallon, and I guess he tried everything pretty much to try to improve the fuel economy, and only 190,000 miles. And that's unfortunate, because I actually have about 350,000 miles now on my new engine, and I'm getting 27.22. And you know, sometimes I'm getting actually 27 and a half, sometimes I'm getting 26 and a half, sometimes I'm getting like 25 and a half. So I've been noticing some fuel stations are better quality than others, so you know, you would get a little bit better. Plus with the weight differences, like one of the other questions was like, what kind of weight do I carry? Well, I don't have much control over it, except to tell them when it's too much. And I think 2,500 pounds is just too much weight to carry for this type of Sprinter. Will it handle it? Sure. You're not even going to feel 3,000 pounds. But guys, when you're actually getting into this kind of weight, then your fuel economy is going to be bad. That's one thing. Everything's going to be going out quicker. Your engine, your transmission, you put in too much strain and everything. So this brings me to the next question, guys. People ask me all the time, well, if I'm going to be getting into expediting, what kind of van should I be getting? What kind of year? What kind of mileage? And you know, to best answer that, because it's really hard to answer that type of question, because it's basically going to depend on you to begin with, and if you're going to be doing this, using this Sprinter or whatever van for expedite. I only recommend Sprinters, by the way. So Sprinters, I know, like they're diesel, they last quite a long time. Of course, I would tell you guys, well, get a 2004 to 2006 Sprinter. You know, you're gonna ask what kind of mileage. Well, as long as you check it out, everything's running good, who cares what the miles are? That's what I think. Because look how many miles, guys, I have. Like, what kind of difference did it really make? Really none. If you're gonna get one with 500,000 miles, you're gonna get a pretty good Sprinter, well-maintained Sprinter. It's gonna last you at least 850,000 miles. To make a better example, I got the Sprinter here that I'm sitting in now with 650,000 miles. It was barely pulling. I overpaid for it, and it was already knocking, guys. And I still got it to last me till 844,000 miles, 500. That's when I put another engine in here. So since then, I've been driving it to 1,150,000 miles, and you know, it's been good. You know, so I think if you could get an engine even with 500,000 miles, if it's gonna even last you till 850,000, look, you just put 350,000 miles on a used Sprinter with no payments. Consider yourself quite lucky, because how to actually get into expediting, guys, and it's quite simple. Get a van. Before you get the van, make sure that company you want to work for will hire you guys. There's a good website where to find the companies. It's called yeah, I believe it's expeditersonline.com. I really didn't check, but if you do like a Google search, I'm pretty sure you'll find it. So it's like expeditersonline.com. There's everything there. There's insurances, there's blogs, there's, you know, there's bunch of companies to choose from. So just give a bunch of them a call, find out, you know, what they are, because they're all companies are different because some of them, they have like deductions weekly for different kind of crap that you really don't need, and it's just gonna be costing you money. They're probably not even good anyways. And then some companies, they don't have any deductions. Those are the companies I would actually go for. You know, you don't want to pay all those extra things like satellite and, you know, all this bull crap. You know, you just don't need it. It's all outdated technology. They could be tracking you with the cell phone now. You don't need to have like those Qualcomm type of systems. Now, one thing I will recommend, if you're going to be doing expediting, insulate your van, guys. Insulate it to the best you can, because that's going to basically help you guys a lot just by having insulating. Now, some kind of fan would definitely work good. I've seen some forced air type of fans. Now, that would be really amazing to put like one of those on your roof. I've seen some of those, but you don't necessarily have to have one on your roof. You could just have a stand-up fan in your Sprinter van, and just have some kind of generator. That I just keep mine as clean as possible. I have my toolboxes. I carry spare tools. I carry spare parts. So if anything goes wrong, I'll be able to actually repair my Sprinter on the road. So that's important. Have an extra belt. Have an extra alternator. Have an extra starter with you. Have some pulleys. Have a tensioner pulley with me, like with you. I have one with me. I never had one go bad with me, but the tensioner pulley wheel has went bad, so I would remove the one from this tensioner pulley, pop it on there, and I'm fine. I don't have to replace the whole tensioner pulley assembly. I've really never had one go bad on me, guys. I've seen before some instances where people claimed that went bad, so not for me, guys. So let me think what else I could tell you guys. So getting back to how to actually become an expediter. So basically, when you call one of those companies, you choose which company you want. They're gonna say, okay, you could work for us. They're gonna tell you what Sprinter they're gonna require. Some of them, they want Sprinter no more than 10 years old. So these 2006s is not gonna work for them. So that means you're gonna be stuck getting a 2007 and up. I recommend, guys, call around, find one that's gonna accept the 2006, because they're really reliable. Stuff that's 2007 through 2009, it's still pretty good. It's got a particulate filter. You know, they're pretty good engines, if you ask me. They're not that economical. They're about 18.7 miles per gallon. If you don't floor it, you maybe be able to squeeze 20 miles per gallon. I hear people saying, well, I'm getting 21, 22. I can't really believe that, guys, because I've been an owner of a 2007 for like 3 years, and I only got 18.7 miles per gallon. That's because I do the actual calculations. I don't look at what the speedometer says. Shoot, my speedometer sometimes would say like the fuel gauge, I'm getting like 25 miles per gallon, and I'm probably just coasting or something. So it's not reliable. You gotta always you know, divide gallons into miles you driven at the time you filled up a full tank. So so basically, if you find a company that will work with your Sprinter, that's going to actually answer it best for you which Sprinter actually get. So if you got one that's going to work with an older Sprinter, then get that if that's what you want. If you get something newer, I still say 2007 to 2009, they're okay. You could remove the particulate filter, just remove it. You could just punch a hole in it, you know, like, or drill some big holes right through it. You know, I'm talking about through the actual inside where the particulate stuff is at, you know, to increase the airflow, because those things get stuck, and of course your check engine light will come on, and by you drilling stuff holes through it, your check engine light will stay on. So the problem with me is now, according to your state. So some states you will not pass inspection. Luckily for South Carolina, there's no state inspection, so I would get away with something like that, you know, just by putting a straight pipe in there, and that's how I would roll. And that's actually how I did it, guys. But except I didn't drill my holes through there, because I figured, look, at some point I might decide to clean it, and that part is $3,800 part. I just went and I bought like a $15 piece of pipe. I cut it to the appropriate shape, you know, and I shaped it. I used the original clamps and I installed it, guys, and that's the way I did it. So that's another thing. I really don't like when government, they get involved in your everyday operations, like driving a Sprinter, just because they want to, you know, maintain the environment. at your cost. So it's going to cost $7,000 for DF system if it goes bad, $3,800 for the particle filter, not including, you know, like installation. When you could just have a 2006, 2004, 5 Sprinter, have an engine breakdown at worst, okay, and buy a new engine between $5,000 and $7,000, guys. You could pick it up at $6,000 at the Mercedes. It's gonna have a $900 core. As long as you give them your engine, $6,000 is all you're gonna pay. It is actually $7,000, guys, but here's a trick. This is something that they won't tell you when you're at the Mercedes. Ask them about MB Club of America, basically Mercedes-Benz Club of America. That membership costs $50 a year. You're gonna get some magazines. You're gonna have like I think like monthly meets, maybe weekly meets, some prizes and stuff like that. I've never attended. I probably should have, but if you become an MB member, it's gonna cost you $50. You could save on parts 15% by showing them the MB card at the Mercedes. So there you go. From $7,000 what the engine costs plus $900 core, you're gonna save 15% on parts. So you're gonna pay about $6,050 on, you know, on basically a brand new engine. If you're gonna install it yourself, well, you're just gonna save more money. But if you're gonna have them install it, they're gonna give you 50,000 mile warranty. So choose, I guess, which option. If you're wondering how much it's gonna cost for installation, I paid $9,500 with the whole installation. I still think I paid too much, but they wanted close to 13,000 or like 14. I can't remember now, because they had all these extra fees and stuff like that. And shops, they're really good with that. If you're gonna be paying $7,000 for a part, most likely you're gonna have $7,000 worth of labor, and that's really terrible. This is why I do what I do, you know, to try to help you guys, you know, to replace the parts that's bad in your vehicle. And by you doing yourself, you're gonna save hundreds of dollars, in some cases thousands of dollars, and avoid having a big headache. This video has came to an end. I really hope I answered all your questions. I probably missed some. If I missed some, please leave it in the comments below. Guys, I answer every single question on my YouTube channel. This is one thing you're gonna realize: by commenting on my channel, you're actually gonna get a reply. I'm serious, guys. I actually look for those comments many times a day. My notifications are off for all the platforms, but YouTube is something I check like, I don't know, like every 30 minutes or something. So if your question's on there, chances are within 30 minutes you're gonna have an answer, unless I'm sleeping, guys, because this is a crazy world. I drive sometimes during the day, sleep in the night, sometimes drive during the, you know, night, sleep during the day. So if you're expediting, you understand this. So if you don't get a reply right away, guys, be patient. By the end of the day, I'm gonna get back to you guys anyways, because I check my YouTube multiple times a day. It makes it easy for me because I have this special app. It's called the YouTube Studio app. In that Studio app, any comment on any video left anywhere on my channel is gonna appear on a special comment section, and I could just get to everybody's questions, guys. And if it's gonna get overwhelming at one point where it's just gonna be too many questions to answer and I'm not gonna be able to get to everybody, I'm just gonna constantly make videos on question and answer type of videos. I'll read all the comments and I'll make notes, and I'm just gonna basically answer all the questions that you guys may have. But I try to actually think of questions myself and answer them before they even get asked. So if you have a question, most likely it's already on my YouTube channel. But don't hesitate to ask. Ask anyways, ask anything, and I'm gonna try to answer it to the best of my ability. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. This has been a pretty informative video. This is why it's long. That's how some of my videos are. I do try to make sometimes shorter videos, but with this type of videos, I got to give you guys insights in various different things and try to make reasoning. Just my opinion. At the end of the day, you guys know what to do best. So choose whatever is going to be working out for you. So anyways, God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, guys. That really helps me a lot. And please watch my videos to the end if possible. If you don't like my video, if it's boring, but you do respect me, go make yourself a coffee or some tea, guys, and just leave my video.